Hi, I'm starting this channel because I just came into information regarding IVF. There's no laws that actually protect you. How do I know this? Because my embryos were given away to another woman in 2018 at the same time when I went back to go use my embryos. If the doctor said it was a clinical decision, and he lied to me about telling me he destroyed 4 embryos, and in fact he gave it to a couple. Well, I shouldn't say he gave it, no one gives anything for free. And when I met that woman in November 2018 coming out of the transfer room, she was on her 5th transfer. The doctor made a clinical decision at that time to give her one of my embryos and me one because he figured I would get pregnant because I got pregnant with my son. And I'm not happy about this. I didn't find out until it all came down. In December of 2018, I did another transfer, and the nurse at that clinic was asking me all kinds of questions about my children, my family. I go, I just gave birth, and my son is like 9 months old right now, and I want to have a 4th child. And she was tapping her foot and everything. She ran out of the embryo room with the tube and going into the hallway, not to the lab. I went to go after her. The doctor stopped me. He goes, trust me, I did the transfer. I didn't know what to do. I was in shock. I went home, I emailed him. That it was transferred to the woman, my last embryo. And I made a meeting with him, and I go, either something's wrong with your clinic or something's wrong with me. The nurse was unhappy when I went back, so was the secretary. He goes, well, I'll do an endometrial biopsy to see if everything's okay with you. $180. Not only did he take my $1,500 to transfer, but he set up another transfer in February with no embryo. To cover his tracks, instead of telling me the truth, he manipulated a transfer. I had a meeting with him in March, telling him I'm going to hire a lawyer and I'm going to have an investigation done on this clinic. The woman I met in November said she had to give away one of her embryos. I told you. He goes, where are you going to get the DNA from? Because I used a donor. I go, the little blob sitting in the carriage, that's what's called DNA. He was pretty confident. I go, if the embryo is 100% genetically linked to my son, it's my embryo. He admitted the truth, which I do thank him. I spent another $32,000 to do another cycle, only to have 4 embryos that couldn't be graded. He transferred 2. I got pregnant with my daughter right away. See, I don't even think he did a transfer in November. And so I think that he manipulated $4,500 out of me plus $180. And here to find out that in Canada, we have no law regarding IVF. So if you know someone who's undergoing IVF or you're doing it yourself, be very careful, because doctors can tell you anything they want. They can tell you that you had no embryos, you have to do the cycle again, and that's coming out of your pocket. Because there are couples out there that want embryos and they're paying for it, $5,000 to $10,000 an embryo. And you transfer the embryo in another woman. She gives birth, she can get a birth certificate, no problem, even though it's your baby. Right now, this little boy is 2.5 years old. And, I have no legal rights to him. Even though I made the embryos, they're mine. I did file in court, but I withdrew the case in court. Why? Because I need DNA. The Montreal Police Department on Timmins is supposed to be doing an investigation, but I don't hold my breath. That's why I'm putting it on YouTube. Demand investigations. We all have a right. We all have a right. That's my son. Yeah. And we all have a right, to come together and to say, this is not right, what happened to this woman. Is it happening to me? Is my doctor manipulating the cycle to give to an infertile couple that can create embryos? But we're going to transfer these low-grade embryos into them and see if it's going to work. See, this is what happened to me. And I got pregnant, so I didn't get mad at him right away. I go, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to cry that he destroyed it? I got what I wanted. I have a little boy that I'm happy. Yeah. And when I decided to have another baby. And that's when everything started going downhill. Because when I did go back, he was shocked. I go, I want another child. He made me get letters from my gynecologist. He made me get a letter from the high-risk doctor and the endocrinologist. I did the first transfer in November of 2018. And he didn't know what to do. Right now, I have been robbed. I have my child stolen. He goes, I'll make it up to you. How are you going to make it up to me when you stole my child? Yes, I got pregnant with my daughter. She's 20 months right now. And my son's 3.5. You cannot take another child to say you're going to replace it. I'm sorry. This woman that's working at the clinic, the nurse, is still working. Meanwhile, 2 people were fired because he thinks that they told me. They were upset. They said it was unfair about what's happening to me, that I should be allowed to have a full genetic sibling. And I didn't catch on right away. But you know what? I did. I put all the pieces together. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize what was happening in that clinic. And it's here in Montreal. So if you know someone that's undergoing IVF, come to watch my video. Because you know what? I'm demanding Justin Trudeau to stand up for women. He says that he sticks up for women's rights. He is aware of what's going on with stolen embryos. He knows. Demand a law for reproductive law. Because right now, this is a gray zone. This is a gray zone. And everybody is aware of it. And everybody knows that it's going on. But you know what? We have to stop. Because no one has a right to use your embryos. I paid for the freezing, $1,000. I paid for my transfers, $1,500 each time. I done it privately. Meanwhile, he has a lawyer that will defend him. Even if my friend goes to me, even if the doctor owes you $10,000, they're going to spend $100,000 to prove you wrong. Right now, as a society, we all need to stand up together and say, no more. You're not stealing my child. Because you know what? Another person could go in and have no baby in their bassinet. And meanwhile, another woman has your baby in their home. And you are not aware of this. Why? Because it's a silent crime. Silent crimes are done when your back is turned and you trust someone. And who are you supposed to trust? You're supposed to trust your doctor. And when your doctor tells you, sorry, you didn't get pregnant, but next month or when you're going to try again, it will work. And you're trying to believe in your doctor. But what happens if your doctor is manipulating your cycle for profit? That's what it comes down to, profit. And right now, I'm demanding justice. I could let it go, but I'm choosing not to. My oldest daughter saw me on Facebook trying to get people to join in a GoFundMe. And she was upset that I'm going to rattle the cage and everything, and people are going to see. But I took it out of the court because I need the blood test. I need the investigation done on this clinic. And hopefully the police are going to be doing what they say they're going to do. But I need you to stand up. Call your local government. Tell them this should not happen. And if you know someone that could help in my cause, please contact me. You know, my email address and that, is Sharon Linus, 4, letter U, @gmail.com. Tell them to email me, because what happened to me could happen to you very easily. And right now, I'm fighting for justice. And I'm fighting for my rights to my child. And if this woman is watching right now, you knew you were stealing my embryos. So I don't feel sorry for you. You're a common thief. You're a common thief. You stole my child. You stole my son's sibling. Right now, you have my child in your home. But you won't have him there for long. Let me tell you. I am going to fight. And this doctor, you could sue him. You can hire a surrogate and all that and have her carry the baby, his future baby. Do it legally. But this child that you have in your home right now does not belong to you. And the whole world is going to find out what you did to me. You're going to help change the laws. Because I'm going to make you an example of what it takes to go after someone. You don't mess with a woman's child. It's my child that you stole. And I don't forgive you. I will find you. And I will hire a private investigator. I will find out who you are. Even if the doctor erases your file, there's still a paper trace. You will never get off scot-free. DNA don't lie. People lie. And I want the truth. The truth will come out. Justice. And you know what? Hopefully, everybody who sees this will contact their government, your local M&A, the police department, everybody, to demand change, demand justice for all, especially when it comes to IVF, especially when it comes to DNA and all that. It doesn't lie. So you know what? Ask for change. Because this is why I'm setting up this channel, to help women to know, no matter what, honesty, especially when it comes to IVF, create your embryos. There's many, many ways of having a child. But do it right. Don't steal from another woman just to fulfill your own need. There's many agencies out there. You just have to find out where. Because right now, doctors are not allowed to tell you where to go or what to do. So, you know what? And they're not allowed to do what they did. It's because you're supposed to get permission from the government. And right now, he thinks he's off scot-free because I took the case out of the court. It's only temporary. Because once I get the DNA, I'm going to refile. And I will be going to get my child. How many children has been stolen? We don't know. Because if it happened to me, it's happened to other women. Demand a database for donor children. to know where they come from, their DNA, their history. If it's an ovum donor, sperm donor, you put it together, there should be a record of it, where they come from. Children have a right to know. And right now, there's no database in Canada for these children, for sperm donor, ovum donor, or donated embryos, or stolen embryos. Once it's planted into the uterus, it's their baby. You get a birth certificate, and it's done. Justin Trudeau, if you're watching this, do something. Set up a law for donor children, a database, and stop the theft of embryos. Because if my child was walking in the street and got kidnapped, I would be able to call the police, and the police would do a police report and a search for my child. But when it's an embryo, a cell, they don't. It took 2.5 years for a police report. And it's only once I spoke to Anthony Howe's father, and he actually got the ball rolling, and not by his name. And then just recently with the election, I spoke with the PQ, and he helped me. And right now it's the new investigator. Oh, this is good. Last year it was the investigator that said, leave the baby where he is. I go, but it's my child. No, it's not. It belongs to that woman. She gave birth. She's a thief. I'm not helping you. I'm an adoptive child. There's 2 new investigators on the case right now. But what are they going to do? They were supposed to go into the office to start the investigation and go to the prosecutor's office. I haven't heard back, and this is like about 2 weeks now. Let's see what they're actually going to do. Are they getting his records? Who did a transfer in November of 2018? Who did a transfer in December 2018? And who got pregnant in December? Are they actually going to do DNA testing on this baby? So far, I heard nothing. Is this going to be another crime that's going to be not solved because they don't want to open up a can of worms? You know what? It's time to open it. It's like having garbage in your house and not taking it out. It stinks. And if you continue avoiding it and just not going in that room, it still stinks. It's time to clean house. It's time to take out the garbage. These thieves have to be stopped. And you're not doing it for me. You're doing it for children. Children like this. This is my daughter, Olivia. You're doing it for her. You're doing it for other children that were stolen as a cell. Right now, nobody has a right to take your property. We're supposed to have laws, but it's not covered. Because if the doctor decides to use your embryos on another woman, it's a clinical decision that affects you. Are you going to sit down and do nothing? Or are you going to do what I'm doing? No more. I'm coming after you. And right now, I need the public to get angry and to say, no more. Is the doctor manipulating your cycle, telling you that you only have 3-4 embryos and nothing else was good? How many eggs were collected? How many were fertilized? How many were destroyed? Are they actually destroyed? In my case, he lied to me. He told me he destroyed 4, and he didn't. He gave it to that couple who was on their 5th try in November and gave them my last embryo. You know, and right now, I'm disgusted and angry. You stole my money, you stole my child, and I gave you 8 months. Because I told him, I don't know how I feel, and not maybe that I'm pregnant, and I may say, okay, let it be. I thought it for 8 months, and I went to the college de medicine, and then COVID hit, and then They said, we're not helping you because you weren't hurt during the procedure. It's under quality of care. Quality of care means if during the procedure you were hurt, you lost an ovary or something, then they would step in. For your property, there is no law. If they decide to do something with your embryo, too bad, too sad, and good luck to you. Try to find out. It's impossible. It's only 2 decent people that were in the clinic that stood up and said, this is wrong. And they lost their jobs. And right now, I feel bad for them. There has to be some kind of justice for them too. Because innocent people are getting hurt. And you know what? It's not about creating families. It's about greed. Because you're not allowed to give away embryos to anybody. And this is what happened to me. And right now, I want justice. And now I'm going to be starting to blog. I'm going to start revealing information along the way. And this will be up and going. You can contact me. And right now I'm just starting this, you know. It's like I have my files, I have everything, I have my evidence. And right now, this is my son. And it is possible to have children after a certain age. I will be blogging about everything. And you know what? If you need help and where to go and what to do, I can refer you. All right. Signing out. Thank you.